Welcome to What Do You Do, a podcast dedicated to demystifying careers we don't know much about and pulling back the curtain on ones we think we do. I'm Adam from Dandelion Video Production, and each episode I'll be having honest conversations about what these careers actually what these careers actually involve. Today I'm sitting with Vanda Szabo, a brand and event photographer. I met Wanda while we were networking, and we bonded over the pains of being very creative people who suddenly had to do business stuff as well, which is not our area of expertise, but we're learning as we go. It's okay. It's not a catastrophe yet. And she's here to tell me more about both the creative side of her business and the challenges she faced. And she just suggested I tell about how she started, but I think she'll tell that herself in just a second. But thank you for joining me today, Wanda.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah,
and yes, I was really happy that we met via a networking event, because I felt the bond as well too. It's sometimes it's very uncomfortable going to networking events as a creative person, because it's I feel like sometimes our mind works differently, but it was really interesting to learn about your story, and there are some similarities with my story. So
Absolutely, yeah. So let's get started. And what does a photographer do?
It's an interesting question. I asked my 6-year-old son first that what a photographer do. What do you think? And he said, taking pictures. And I said, why do we take pictures? And he said, to make money. And then he said, then what do we do with the pictures? And he said, we put them in frames, and we remember memories. But there is a really beautiful poem I read a couple of years ago by Donna Ashford. And if you don't mind, I would like to read it, because it just really beautifully explains the effect of pictures and the whole process. Is that okay?
Yeah, go right ahead, please.
I am the taker of the photos. I am the receiver of the groans, the eye rolls and the hurry-ups. I am the one who disrupts the moments to capture them. And sometimes it's hard to be that person. But I'm also the holder of the memories. I am the one who keeps the precious proof. I am the bearer of stories, the maker of the photo books that brings tears, laughter, and love rushing into the room each time they are opened. And if you are too, please know you are capturing this life as it happens. You are capturing stages, ages, twists, turns, and last moments no one could have foreseen. And generations to come will thank you for it, even if no one does right now. The eye rolls will be replaced one day with absolute all-consuming gratitude for the image of a smiling face so missed, and a memory returned home to stay. Keep disrupting life to capture it, my friends. When it's all that is left, someone somewhere will be so very glad you did. Oh, and stay away from filters or airbrushing if you can. Life can be captured like that, and giving the gift of your real self to those who may need it down the line will be quite something. I think it's just so nice and so beautifully explained.
No, absolutely. It's definitely that kind of... I think a video is capturing a moment in time, and even if that moment is posed, or it's... I would say cheese, it's like whatever, it's a moment in time, and it's still... You weren't not going to remember the person going, oh, stand a bit closer, or do this, or do that. You're going to remember the day. You're going to remember the event. You're going to remember how you felt in that moment. And yeah, exactly, the gratitude for capturing that image in that time, even if it was a bit of a eye roll, like you say, like the poem says, it's still important. And it's still something that's going to be greatly appreciated later on down the line when that memory is captured.
Yes. I specialize to branding and event photography, so I work with businesses. But even, with businesses, it's having regular photo shoot or even videography. It just shows you the progress you made over the years, and yes, it's very uncomfortable at first, but it just shows the progress, your growth, and when you look back in a couple of years' time, when I look back my own first branding image, which is it's I can see the whole journey, and it's not always easy, but then you just realize, oh my god, how much I progressed, and it's just a really nice feeling.
No, I've never thought of it like that, because I think for a while I was working with slightly bigger companies who maybe were made decades ago, and the person who made it wasn't there anymore. Whereas now I'm working with smaller businesses who it is someone's business. Like, it's their thing that they made maybe last week, maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and capturing that, to see that progress, like you say, it's like it may still be a business and it may not be a photo book, but it's still someone's journey. It's still someone's progress. It's still someone going, look, we started with a little sign on this door, and now with this shop or whatever. And it's life, isn't it? Life is that progress, and life is that looking back and seeing how far you've come.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think it's also really nice feeling to be able to have people to document these moments for them and have them grow.
Yeah, absolutely. What made you want to become a photographer?
Like many of my clients, I became a mom, and just made me reorganize my whole life. I used to be a practice manager on Harley Street before I had my son. And when my maternity leave ended, I lost my job, so I had to reinvent myself. And it's a really common theme with my clients as well, because most of the women I work with, they go through the similar journey. So anyway, I decided to turn my hobby into a successful business. And at the beginning, I had no idea what genre I will do, but one day, my neighbor in London, she had a food and lifestyle blog, and she asked me to take some pictures for her, and I really loved the planning process, what sort of pictures to create for her, and it was just amazing also to witness the confidence she gained via the photographs, because she's a plus size girl, and this was the first time she ever liked herself in photographs, and to be able to give her this gift, it was just really fulfilling. And at the same time, I also joined Carrie Green's membership and started to network with women in business, and it's just the whole journey just unfolded in front of me that, oh yes, I think that's my road. Then we relocated to Worcester. I don't know how we ended up here even. Somehow the universe brought us here. So my son was 1.5 back then, and I thought, you know what, this is the best time to officially register my photography business. Didn't know a single soul, and that's how it started.
And now it's 5 years later.
Yes, it's my business is turning 5 this year in May.
That's incredible. That's well done. Oh, well done for May, but that's incredible that you've built a business that good and that's going that long. So well done on that, and yeah, absolutely congratulations.
Thank you.
One thing you said just a moment ago about it was the first time that your friend, your neighbour, was happy with her photos. I guess I know a lot of people, and I used to be one as well, where it was I'd shy away from a photo, or I'd take a photo and go, ooh, no, don't want that one. And it's just like, I think what I tried to say, when I'm filming people, I have the same reaction. I'm waffling a bit, but here we go. They have the same reaction of, oh, make sure to get my good side, or they don't want to be on film for whatever reason. And it's just kind of like, well, maybe you've just not had a good photo before, because I do like to think that everyone's beautiful.
Yes.
And I don't know the better way to say it. Maybe it's a bit harder to show that, and that's why people have had so many bad photos of themselves, and they've shied away completely from having any more. But a good photo can make anyone beautiful.
Exactly. And you know, when we open up our business, it brings up generally lots of insecurities. Like, for example, when we moved to Worcester and I started going to networking events, it brought up lots of insecurities about me not being English, having an accent, and I never had this, you know, why I was living in London, because everyone was foreigner. And I lived there for 11 years, and we had during my job I met you know, high-end clients. So, but I never had this thought of oh my god, like someone will judge me because of my accent. So, you know, setting up our business it brings up really unexpected insecurities about ourselves, how we look, and there's a whole psychology behind why you don't like yourself in pictures. Yes, sometimes you had a bad experience, sometimes, and it could be just really tiny one. For example, someone is making you a comment unexpectedly. I had a client who used to work in a corporate environment, and there was a photographer who came once a year taking photos, the headshots for them, and on one day this client was in a not the very best self in her life. She was going through challenges, getting divorced and putting on weight, you know, like she was in the best self in that particular moment. And this photographer made a comment for her that, oh, it's so difficult to work with you because it took him like 5 minutes to take a headshot instead of 10 seconds. And it put her off, when she opened up her business, it put her off having a photo shoot for I don't know how many years. So, you know, it's really, yeah, there is a whole psychology behind why we feel insecure about ourselves. And when you open up your own business, you have to wear so many hats. It's not just your profession. I think the least we do is why we wanted this business. The least I do in my business is taking photos of people. Probably it's the same for you as well.
Yeah.
But how I would like to overcome or try to overcome this whole thing is I pay high attention to get to know my clients prior photographing them. I spend time understanding why they need photos. If they had photos, what was the experience? I'm not interested in who took their photo. I'm just interested if it wasn't a nice experience, what did go wrong? So, because usually it's just lack of communication, lack of planning. Most of the time it's just lack of planning. Because if you want to create authentic photographs, I guess it's relevant to you as well, authentic videos. You have to work as a team with your client, and you can't just say to someone, okay, I'll meet you there tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we take some photos and that's it. The result's gonna be awful. It's gonna be awful experience. You have to work together, you have to plan, you have to know what the client is trying to achieve. So that's why I pay really high attention to get to know my clients prior photographing them. So by the time we reach the photo shoot stage, we met each other a couple of times, we understand each other, we know each other's personality, and they feel prepared and they feel safe on the day. So the result is very, very likely positive.
Yeah, I think it's very important that you do something like that. It's like, I guess it's quite unique as well because it's quite intimidating. It's just like, if you just turned up, here's this thing I'm pointing at you, now do this specific thing. It's just like, yeah, it's a lot. I can understand why people don't want to do it. I can understand why people don't like that moment. So whereas if you can do whatever you, I guess maybe a lot of photographers and videographers don't consider that you need to have a little bit of a conversation beforehand. Even if, I mean, a lot of times I've just been thrown into buildings and it's just like, we have 4 hours, get going. But you still have to go, okay, this is what we're going to do. Like, just demonstrate that you're friendly, demonstrate that they're safe with you, and that they're allowed to cock up. they're allowed to like have one bad photo because the result overall will be good. It's like, and I think that's missed by a lot of people, where you do need to almost break down that barrier of the camera between you and them and you, and
Yes.
realize this is just a tool. Like this tool is in the middle of the conversation, and we're going to have a good time, and it's going to be comfortable and safe.
Yes, and also it's when you see the results, it's obviously impossible to like all of your photos or all of your videos, because that's just not the case. But also, you know, we are really critical about ourselves. So the first thing we look at in our picture is like what we don't like in ourselves, like double chin. I don't know. For me, double chin, imperfect teeth, and yes, we are very judgmental. But also, you know, you look at yourself in the mirror every day, and it's not the same when you see yourself in photographs. That's the mirror image of that. So we are not used to seeing ourselves in photographs, because the image we see every day is a mirror image of that. So that's why sometimes it also feels alien to see our photos, and you think, oh, is this me? But
Yeah.
that's how. But again, you know, the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more comfortable you will seeing yourself in photographs. And I always suggest to look at behind what, you know, think why you are having your photos done, because you want to create a relationship, or the deeper relationship with your audience, and it's a really great way. For example, once a client hired me because she saw me eating ice cream on my website, and she thought, that's like, she's my girl. You know, and that's why it's really, really important to just be authentic and be you. You don't have to play so many. I think one of the misconceptions is that you have to act a certain way during a photo shoot, but you don't have to. You just be you, and that's one of the secrets why my branding photo shoot days work, because I invite a couple of people to spend the day together, and they hardly notice they are on a photo shoot, because they network, they chat to each other, and it just naturally unfolds. The pictures are more natural than if I would say to them, stand here and smile. That would be really fake.
No, absolutely. I guess the people on that day as well get really comfortable with each other, and they relax, and that's the best way to get an authentic picture, isn't it? Just to be relaxed, just to feel like you're comfortable and safe. And yeah, and one thing you said as well a minute ago about how this is how you see you in the mirror, and even that's reflected. Like, that's not how people see you. That's not how your customer sees you. That's not how your friends see you. They see you in 3 dimensions. They don't see you looking straight down the mirror at they see you. And I think as well as that certain part of accepting what you look like, and also accepting that your reflection isn't what you look like, at least to other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I always say to my clients, you know, that your ideal client doesn't care about how much your weight is, if you put on 5 kilos, or what color your hair is. What they care about is how you make their life better with your services or product, whatever your business is. And it's not relevant what your weight is. They won't notice your insecurities as well. I did a test the other day. I host a networking group, and you know, like, lots of clients worry about one eye is being smaller than the other. That's a really common issue, and that's what they see first when they see their photographs. And so I took a picture. I printed a picture of a client who was, I don't know, can't remember what it was, but it was something judgmental about herself. You know,
Right.
the first reaction when she saw one particular picture. So I printed this picture and then took it to my networking group, and I asked the people, like, what can you see when you first see this picture? What can you see? And they said, oh, I see a professional woman. who is, I think it was a relation, I think it was a client consultation picture, and I can see that she's listening to the clients, nothing whatsoever related to what she said about her own picture. Everyone said something positive, that I can see how much she's listening to her clients. So it just really proved the pudding, you know, that other people don't notice your insecurities. They don't, because they are so personal to you that they won't even notice.
No, that's a very good point. Like, I was thinking about what mine were while you were saying that. So it's like my lack of eyebrows and my massive forehead is what I look at immediately, straight away. And but maybe most people wouldn't even notice I don't have eyebrows. I mean, this is going to be on a video, and people will notice when they see it now. But yeah, I've got to live with it, so I may as well accept that that's part of my face, and no one else is going to notice, like you say. But one thing
it doesn't affect it doesn't affect how good you are in your profession as a videographer. Like it's nothing to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely as well. And most of my face is behind a camera anyway, so they can't even see. I was going to say, sorry, you said something really interesting. Saying about how you showed the photo, and their first comment was how professional she looked, and I think that kind of touches as well on the difference between what's what I'm thinking of for when you're taken seriously. Because my point is, what I'm trying to say is, if someone snaps you with a smartphone, and credibility, that's it. A professional photo demonstrates credibility. Because if all you've got is smartphone photos, and as good as smartphones are, you're still missing that credibility gap, aren't you? Of just like, you can only look so good in a smartphone photo.
Yes. You know, it's really difficult nowadays, because it's just so easy to take photos with your smartphone, and you know the quality is okay for social media posts. But then you reach a stage in your business where you feel it's just not professional enough. And having your professional photos taken can give you so much, not only, yes, credibility as well, but also self-motivation, confidence that, yes, now I look the business. I'm happier to raise my prices, for example, because I feel like I'm growing and I can go to the next level. Or let's say if someone is starting their business, it's just so easy to have a couple of professional photos done, and you know, have that standard, lay out that standard from the beginning, that I'm professional and I take myself seriously. And yes, it's really, really easy to create headshots with AI and with my smartphone, but then it's not just that. They won't give you that personal satisfaction or motivation. I'm looking for a word, like confidence boost, when someone else takes your photos and takes you seriously and looks at you as a professional person. Like, for example, it took me a while when my son was around 6 months old. That's when I lost my practice manager job, and that's when I decided I'm gonna have my business. And there were the pandemic as well, so I couldn't really progress, but I was learning about photography business as well. So that was a year when I was building my business, but I didn't have a business because physically I couldn't really photograph anyone. But it was a massive mindset shift when one day I just sat down and registered my business with HMRC. It didn't make any difference. I still wasn't making any money, but I felt like it was such a big mindset shift that I'm a business owner now. So it's, I know it sounds silly, but you know, this is sometimes the effect of like taking steps towards, I can't say I'm building a business anymore, because I caught myself. I was doing online networking, and I've always introduced myself. I'm building a photography business, and it felt like I'm not progressing. But then I made the registration. Didn't change anything, but it did. It did a mindset shift. So something similar, having your professional photos taken. You take yourself more seriously. You make an investment, and it just immediately puts you going to the next level.
Yeah, I think what you said about taking it seriously as well is it's like wearing the right clothes to networking or making sure you're presentable. It's just like, I'm taking this seriously. This isn't just I have confidence in what I'm doing, and here are the photos to demonstrate that I have confidence in this business, and you should hire me or employ me because I'm going to do a good job for you. And yeah, it's like if you're hesitant, or if you're just relying on, I don't know, bad photos on smartphones or whatever, then you or actually I was going to say as well, if you're relying on an AI version, you're kind of missing an opportunity to not only show how professional and credible you are, but also show, I suppose, the unique, I'm going to say, flaws about you as well. So it's like, if you're saying about the ice cream, I wouldn't say it's a flaw. It's personal though. It made someone like you because you're showing a not perfect part, but in a good photo.
Yes, absolutely. I tested out AI headshots a few years ago when they came into picture. It's been a while. And I think I sent 10 photos of me, and it generated, I think, 100 headshots. And oh my god, I will show you one day. I don't know where they are now, but they are not me. They look really American. One had it's like I had different hairstyles in every single photo, and I looked like someone from, if I would apply for the presidency of the United States. That's really corporate looking. And once I had a afro hair. I don't know where that came from, but okay. I was just ridiculous. I was really funny and still shocking me seeing those. But for example, I just looked too perfect. So for example, I have a scar on my neck, and none of the pictures picked up this scar. Yeah. I was just really weird. Everywhere I looked, had perfect teeth. I had like the arms, they were not really perfect. Sometimes I had 6 fingers. Or but generally, my face looked too perfect. And people wants to see real people. That's yes, it's AI is helping in so many ways, but then I'm really hoping it will also help people to appreciate authenticity more. The other day I looked on LinkedIn, and I don't know the person, somehow it popped up on my feed, and she said, "Oh, I haven't posted anything for a year because I didn't have a picture that looked me." Right. And I had to comment. I said, I really appreciate your post, because over the Christmas period everyone was posting these AI generated Happy New Year thingies with perfect bodies, and it makes me sad to see that that's not the reality. No, but I'm really hopeful it will help us to go back to authenticity.
No, I definitely think it will. I do feel that. I mean, everyone on LinkedIn, all the gurus, whatever's like, authenticity is like what gets you business, and being a person gets this, and everyone on the other side is just doing AI stuff, and it's like, that's going to start fading. I mean, it sounds like I'm predicting the future, and maybe I don't. I mean, who knows? But it's just like, I can't see how you can be authentic and use so much AI that it just completely either erases your voice, excuse me, or your personality. Because I mean, one thing I've encountered is a couple of people that I've met. I've seen them on LinkedIn or something first, and because their photos were either airbrushed or AI'd up or filtered, I didn't realise it was him. So it was like, oh, you're so and so. Oh, okay. And it's just because then you're kind of losing. You're almost, that person's almost displaying their insecurities first that I wouldn't have even noticed had they had an accurate photo and a good photo of themselves. And it's almost saying, well, if you're gonna fake something as obvious as your face, then not that you can't be trusted, but are you a straightforward person? Are you
Yeah.
are you going to be clear in conversations with me, or are you going to be talking yourself up when you don't need to, or you're not going to be completely genuine? I suppose.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But also, AI can never, yes, it's helpful with lots of things, but it can never, never, ever replace, the creativity and the touch and the vision of a human person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God.
Yes, yeah, and I was just going to say as well that I was just thinking about all the little happy accidents I've ever had in a shot where something I hadn't planned for just happens, and it's like
Exactly.
that made the shot so much better because I could not have planned that. Maybe the room looked just slightly busy at that moment, or maybe a little bit of light that I didn't account for because the sun came out, but it glowed something. It's just like you can't fake that. You can't even plan for it apparently, but it makes photos and videos that are real so much better than anything you can just fake.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I even tested out AI editing, and to be honest, I didn't like it at all. I wanted to test out to save time with editing, especially during event photography when you take lots of photos, but I just went back to my old routine, even if it takes longer than with AI, but still I had to go through the, let's say, just culling the images. It didn't pick the ones I wanted to pick, it's like you can't replace. Maybe it's good for some people, but I didn't have a good impression about this.
No. I'm going to stop our conversation there because I feel like we could both go on for quite a long time about AI, and I'd rather talk about you, to be honest. So, in the 5 years, you're just saying about your processes. In the 5 years that you've been in business now, what would you say your biggest learnings or biggest lessons that you've learned have been? Or just talk a bit about the story. Just tell me a bit about the 5 years, whatever you want to say. It's like highs or lows. Just tell me about, because it's an impressive achievement, and I mean, especially when you get into 5 years, it's an impressive achievement getting to 5 years with a 1.5-year-old in an area you knew no one, and you're thriving. So just tell me about that.
Yes, I think this last 5 years were one of the hardest in my life. But then also I learned the most about myself. I learned about just an enormous amount about business, marketing, how to communicate with people, and just like also confidence. It's also built me another level of resilience and bravery. I think it requires bravery, like leaving my mother country and set up a new life in a new country without any support. That already built a kind of resilience in me, but this last 5 years took me to another level. So kind of sometimes I feel like, okay, I can throw me whatever, I probably can handle or survive.
Yeah.
And there were so many moments when I was ready to give up, because of different frustrations. I think that one of the biggest frustrations, and that's why so many people give up their businesses at the early stages, is the insecurity of an unpredictable income, and compared to having a full-time job and no that money is coming in, and you know, having your own business, you have to work on like building relationships, networking, and it could be really tiring, like sometimes, and also sometimes heartbreaking when you build a relationship with someone for sometimes years, and then next month you see them having their photos taken by someone else.
Yeah.
But but then also it gave me a really it boosted my confidence as well, and helped me to learn a lot about me. At the beginning I decided, you know, I have to become the best friend of myself, because like we are the best cheerleaders of ourselves. Sometimes you don't necessarily get the support from the people who are the closest to you, because they just don't understand you. They like, you just have to follow your own vision, and you have to be really strong to carry on, not on the high days, but mostly on the low days when, I don't know, sales are not coming in, the things not going the right direction. So, but what I also noticed that when you are downhill and in that, I think it's called the valley of despair phase,
Yeah.
it's always before a breakthrough. So you just have to go continue going, and then it will come up. So nothing is constant. So everything is changing all the time. So it's always before a breakthrough, and then you just have to find a way to keep positive. So I think one of the most useful things were building up a toolkit when I can go to when things are harder or not going to the right direction. So and it's really also really useful to have a circle of people where you can honestly share what you are going through, and not necessarily your family members, like people in business who are in the same situation, who understand you and the struggles you face. So I think that's the biggest lesson I learned, I guess.
Yeah, I can. That point about is necessarily people in your life, the family that understand, is one thing I found as well, because it's just like this is all I want to talk about, really. this is like my living, which I need to constantly sustain with so much energy, and then it's also kind of a hobby, because it's kind of fun to do, and to show that what you think is going to be the course of direction for your business actually works. And all I want to do in the image is go, oh, I did this at work today. It's just like, no, it's not that no one cares. It's just that no one cares as much as I do.
Exactly.
And but yeah, it's quite. You need that. I'm very curious. What's in your toolkit?
I do yoga every day, or almost every day. That really, I implemented that when my son was 6 months old, and it was a really big change. You know, having a really busy job on Harley Street in London, and then suddenly being at home with him, and I felt I needed something to do for me every day. But you know, it's just so much easier doing that at home, and so I just less excuse not to do it. So I still carry on that almost every day. Like, obviously I skip some days, or some days yoga just 5 minutes. There were some periods when I meditated more or journaled more. I do less now, because I also noticed that these like daily routines can become an obsession, and also when you have 6 hours to work each day, or 5, then you spend 1.5 hours with these bloody daily routines like gratitude affirmations and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, yes, it's good to do this, but actually I have to make money making activities, because that's what brings me money in and that's what makes me a successful business owner. So
Yeah.
I also had I used to have a quote or poem printed on my wall in front of me. It's called "Don't Quit." I can't remember where it is now, but I will send it to you. It's really really useful. It's again enhancing your, say, like, you just need another push and you might succeed in a project or whatever. That was really useful. And I also have I used to have a mentor, and he taught me to have a proud of me folder.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So I have that next to me, and I put things that
Wow.
I'm proud of, or let's say, when people have their pictures in magazines, or one of the projects I'm really proud of is working with the Worcestershire Breast Haven charity.
Hmm.
We created a calendar together. So we created a calendar in 2024, and it was for 2025. I have a copy somewhere. And it was a really really uplifting project. And so we did three photo shoots for these ladies. They were existing or former patients.
Yeah.
And I was just really, it was a really emotional project, because one of the ladies passed away 2 weeks after the photo shoot, but also, which was really really sad emotionally, but it also was such a nice feeling to be able to gift something for her family to remember her. And so the charity raised over 16,000 profit with this calendar project. So that was one of the proudest moments of my business. The other one was last year. I was invited to an event, photograph an event at the Houses of Parliament.
Okay.
When they invited over 100 women together, and it was organized by Lynn Franks, who had a campaign 30 years ago, the first time ever, asking women what they wanted, and they want to bring this campaign back. And they had the first event at the Houses of Parliament last year, and I had the privilege of photographing this event, and I'm just really curious where it will lead next year, because they are planning what to do next year. So it was really really great. I remember I was on the tube, and just I had tears in my eyes, and I said, "Oh, how cool is my job?"
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are one of my toolkits, and also sharing honestly with other people in business who you met via networking events, and you realize you are not alone. And maybe, if you brainstorm with those people, maybe the solution is really easy. You just can't see it from, how do you say, you can't see the wood from the trees.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it's just having a conversation with someone who understands you, or in business as well, just helps you to get the solution.
Yeah, it's very lonely, isn't it? Or it can be, if you don't take
Yeah.
those steps to find people around you that support you and champion you, because you do, like you say, have to be your own best friend. And like when I first started my own business, it was because I got made redundant. So I guess it was a similar situation to you, of just like, what do I want to do now? And it did feel kind of like the only choice I had. I mean, I could have applied for the roles, but I didn't want to. And it's like, this was the choice I had. And then I realised after a while, it's just like, that was very transactional. I needed to actually believe in it. I don't know why I did these fists. Believe, as if seriously though, I had to believe in myself too. Because if I didn't believe it was going to succeed, then it wasn't, and that's the kind of thing that gets you through those tough days. I mean, today I felt a bit like things aren't going so great, so I went for a run, and it's just like with you with your yoga of just, you need to either get the blood pumping or just relax or just get your body moving and realize that it's just a bump. It's just what you think is happening, like what you think isn't necessarily what's actually happening, and things are progressing. You're doing all the right things, and if you keep showing up, and like I said before, it takes a lot of energy, but if you keep showing up and you keep being yourself and making those connections, then it will pay off. And one thing I really like. Oh, sorry, go on.
The overnight success you work for 10 years.
Yeah. But I really like how you've got that folder physically, because I save nice messages and things, but it's just it is in a folder on my phone, but I never go in there. I never go in there and look at them because that's just weird. Like why would I just go through? I mean, but it's not just weird, but it's not just a thing that I do because I don't have the time, I suppose. And whereas one thing I did do recently is it was inspired by a client. On the wall right in front of me there, I've got all the medals that I've got from running marathons. Well, 1 marathon, 5 half marathons. But and it's obviously that takes a lot of dedication, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of time building towards it. And just looking up there and going, yeah, I stuck it out. I did what I needed to do to succeed in that task, and I will in this one too. And yeah, if you don't like, it's good. I suppose that's part of my toolkit, but I never thought of it like that until you mentioned it. So I'll look into building my other bits of my toolkit now, because having it physically trumps having it just digitally somewhere tucked away.
Yeah, I think also I was thinking the other day, but they're in progress with it, to print out all the testimonials, so good comments or any positive things from my clients, messages, so, and then put it, like physically print those comments or testimonials and put it in a notebook. And that's also, like an instant validation of your quality and a confidence boost.
Absolutely.
On those days. I also used to do lots of EFT tapping for confidence. It's really interesting. I help my clients with confidence a lot, and most of my clients hate to have their photos taken, and so I have to boost their confidence. But I am working on my own confidence every single day. And on Sunday I went to a confidence boosting workshop, not necessarily because I don't feel confident, but it's just really like the way that the host of the event approaches confidence. It's not like being loud and or the loudest in the room, but it's the confidence, the trust within your abilities or within your competence. It's just really interesting to learn it. And you have to have this confidence, inner confidence or inner trust or inner belief in you on those days when people doubt you or you have or face challenges. But then that's when you really need these. I used to be in school in Hungary. That's what ruined my confidence, because we had to stand in front of the whole class and talk about what we learned, and obviously lots of teachers enjoying the process of intimidating you in front of the whole class. And I remember I nearly failed all my final exams because I just couldn't remember anything, because it was just so intimidating, standing in front of everyone. But then I also I'm going to push myself out and do more of these podcasts and even speaking events, because that's how you can grow. Yesterday I heard from Mel Robbins that she was saying, confidence is the ability to, or the willingness to fail, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I actually said something similar the other day on LinkedIn. I posted on LinkedIn about how the post I was saying about how one excuse can negate 100 opportunities. Yeah. And it's like, you can. It's just down to what you can control, isn't it? It's just like, if I'm choosing to not do that, then I've just basically closed the door on myself. It's like
Yeah.
I've not even given myself the chance to do whatever it is that I was trying to do.
Yeah, there's this quote also that I can, if I say I can, or if I say I can't, both of them are true.
Yeah.
Because then you decide you can't do it. But if you decide you can, then you can. Yeah.
No,
How is
absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, because you kind of have to believe in yourself too. And we've spoken a lot about how all these different things that you need to be a business owner. What would you say to someone who was just thinking about becoming a photographer? Easy question, I know.
Yes, that it's harder than you think to have a successful photography business, but it's not impossible. And so many years I didn't feel professional enough as a photographer because I don't have a proper qualification of photography. I completely self-taught myself. So if you have this question in your head that, oh, I need to go to uni, or I need to have a proper qualification, then you can completely self-teach yourself in photography and just learn what you need to know,
Mm-hmm.
and also what you are interested in knowing. And I'm not the most technically qualified person in photography. That's a fact. But I know enough to help my clients and help them well. And my aim is always, to offer them the best possible customer care in every way of my business. And I invest in my learning every single day, whatever way, money or energy or tears, whatever it means. But because my aim is whoever works with me, their return on investment goes back to them as well, and also to provide the best possible service for them. So it's absolutely possible to start from scratch. I'm the living proof that if you don't know anyone in the area, you can still build it up. It's not easy, but it might take a bit of time. But my suggestion is that yes, go learn, become your best friend, work on your confidence every single day, network. One of my clients said networking is a step away from not working, which is I absolutely believe, because most of my clients come to me via networking, referrals, or they come back to me or they refer their friends to me. And building relationships, I think it's really key. And what else? Yeah, learn to be a really good salesperson.
Yeah.
I think that's and be good in marketing and or selling yourself. But it again comes back to being confident about your abilities, your competence as well. So I think these are the key elements. If I would start again, I probably would learn. I start with becoming a really good salesperson first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I worked a lot again on my mindset as well, and also most people, when we set up our businesses, we kind of draw a line and we think, oh, we need to start from scratch. But whatever professions or careers you did in the past, I changed my careers a few times. I used to be a beauty and massage therapist and trainer. Then I retrained myself to work in dentistry, and now photography. But whatever I learned, all my life, the skills, it's related to customer service. In beauty and dentistry, like we had impatients. Were really scared of having that dental treatment done. It's really, you might feel it's not relevant to photography, but the customer care, the support you provide for your patient or clients, it's really relevant. So we often feel that, okay, we draw a line and we start something from scratch, but then the skills and so many useful skills we have that we can implement in our business, and it adds what we offer to our clients.
Yeah, definitely. I can completely agree with that. I mean, I couldn't have done this earlier in my career. I wouldn't have had any of the experience or the life skills to be able to go, I'm personable now, I'm friendly, I can sell myself. It's like, it's all stuff before that I kind of just shied away from, or tried to avoid. I mean, I didn't really network properly until last year, and I think it's going pretty well. But yeah. I had one question that came up in the middle of that. What would you say is the difference between a professional photographer and someone who's just good with a camera?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned it. I didn't feel professional enough for at the beginning, because I had so many qualifications in different professions in the past, so during my 43 years in this planet. But the only I don't have is photography, and that was a moment when I nearly signed up for going to uni to study photography, because also in Hungary, if you want to set up a business, you have to have the relevant qualification or employ someone who has, and probably this mindset was in me, so I probably felt I didn't feel enough at the start. But then I realized, this is my main earning. I'm taking my business really seriously. I invest energy, money in my education, and this is a professional business. And I met lots of photographers throughout this 5-year journey, via networking events. There's always photographers. Like every other day I meet someone new. But some of them they have proper qualification, but that pictures are just too blind. Like you have to have an eye as well. I think I have a strength to, maybe it's related to the people skills I developed throughout my working career, that I understand people, and I think my strength is photographing people, emotions, connections, and make them create a safe space. And I think you might learn lots of technicalities in school, but not necessarily learn the right ones. And sometimes you just have to have that eye, or just understanding, like inner understanding of people. And I feel I have that, so I stop myself not feeling professional, because I have a professional business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes back to what we were saying before about how it's easy for the camera to be a barrier between the photographer and the subject, when the customer doesn't care about what lens type you use or what light you've got. All they care about is that you made them comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. I am losing my voice. I'm going to cut that cough out. Right, I think we're getting to the end now, actually. Let's check. So, if your ideal customer was listening to this right now, what would you say to them? Who are they, and what would you say to them?
So my ideal client is a woman in business who not necessarily like having their photos taken, and usually my ideal clients are in business for a while, at least 2-3 years, and they are ready to go to the next step. I think we touched this in previously, that they don't feel professional enough. They feel like they want to increase their prices. They're ready to up-level their brand, and they feel that their visuals doesn't reflect this, and maybe they want to attract a different type of clientele, a more high-end clientele, or sometimes when we open up our business we don't really have a direct vision of what we want to do. It evolves by time as well, who we like to work with or what type of people we attract to ourselves, because I'm not sure if you notice the same, but kind of there is a pattern with the type of clients you attract to your business. And so my ideal clients usually wants to go to the next level, and they are ready. They are ready, and so they appreciate also the value of professional photograph and help. They like to have hand-holding, easy experience, and they're willing to work as a team.
Absolutely. With that in mind, if you'd like to learn more about or get in touch with Wanda, please go to vsphotography.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today, Wanda. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you. I really enjoyed our chat.
Yeah,
And
me
thanks
too.
again for inviting me.
No, very glad to have you here. Next week, I'm sitting down with Narinder Sheena to find out what a chronic pain... bloody hell, I'm going to do that again. Next week, I'm sitting down with Narinder Sheena to find out what a chronic pain coach does. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.